Thank you, guys. I hope Dad heard that. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Todd Lesh. I'm the third born of 4 children, Leslie, Elisa, me, and Lane. Children of Harvey and Polly Lesh. This is my wife, Janie, here in the front, who will finish for me if I cannot do so. So, some of you may be asking, what was it like to grow up in the household of Harvey Lesh? Well, I'll tell you, it was great. Except on haircut days. Dad always cut our hair so short, right, Lane? I said, Dad, there are attachments for longer hair, but his hearing was very selective. Dad taught us that work is a blessing, that you persevere, that you complete a task, that you do it well. He always worked with a sweet spirit. One day, Dad brought home the makings of an in-ground trampoline. He said, kids, if you want it, you have to dig the hole. 3 feet deep, 12 feet long, 8 feet wide. We were little kids, for heaven's sakes. We worked all summer on that hole, like 3 months, with picks and shovels, and I think spoons. By the way, Leslie, the oldest of us kids, took on the role of taskmaster to keep us focused. But what a great feeling when Dad finally said, well done, kids, enjoy your trampoline. And we did. Dad would work all day at B.F. Goodrich, come home, eat, and work on our house in Ohio that he and Mom started from a tent. When they moved to Maine, they started building their next house, themselves. Dad spent a year building Elisa and Lloyd's house and numerous projects for the rest of us. Dad was a patient teacher. He taught us how to use tools, saws and hammers, and ratchets and levels, to maintain things, to improvise, to always attempt to use old lawnmower parts in all your building projects to avoid costly trips to the hardware. He was an inventor. He was a mechanical engineer. For over 30 years at B.F. Goodrich, he designed things. My favorite was the escape slides and life rafts on passenger aircraft. Even the aircraft we fly on today has Harvey Lesh's patented high-velocity inflation valves. Dad taught us firefighting skills, or at least how to call the fire department. He loved burning things, especially dead grass in our fields, but always underestimated wind conditions and threatened the neighborhoods beyond our fields on several occasions. I could see Mom standing there with a leaky hose, all of us with broken rakes, and 10-foot-high flames heading for the neighbors. Pretty neat for a little boy to see. And of course, Leslie, the oldest, was assigned to go call the fire department duties. Even after that story, I will tell you, Dad was trustworthy, dependable, and very predictable. As a little kid, I remember at 10 till 7 in the morning, Dad would walk out of the house, down our quarter-mile driveway, to meet the carpool of the same 6 men for over 30 years. Then at precisely 5:30, we would wait on the hill, looking for him to round the corner, walking up the driveway. Dad loved the outdoors and gave us the gift of a country life. Our home on the hill was a peaceful place with time for butterfly collecting and exploring. He loved animals. He let us raise owls, possums, chipmunks, a rabbit here and there. He loved dogs. I hardly ever saw him cry, but one day I saw tears coming down his face when Rusty, our beloved bear-like German Shepherd, died. Dad bought 27 acres of woods for us to camp on. Of course, he made us dig the 8-foot deep hole for the outhouse, but we were older then. No spoons were needed. We got to see the greatness of God by being out in God's incredibly designed creation. To sit around a campfire and look up at the stars and hear the heavens declaring the glory of God. Wow. Dad was kind, not quick to anger. I never heard him yell or cuss ever. Well, except that one time when we were working together putting up a fence, and I hit him in the head with a post hole digger. He yelled at me, "What the Sam Hill?" I thought he had cussed, but he didn't. It was just an old-timey expression, he told me, and I believed him. One day, Dad had a car jacked up in the garage with a wheel taken off. My oldest sister, second oldest, she attempted to drive it out of the garage. After a loud bang, the car with Elisa in it was angled up like a ship ready to sink. When Dad saw it, he said to Elisa, "Didn't get very far, did you?" When we were kids, Dad and Mom's life changed. They always believed in God, but they heard and understand for the first time the gospel of Jesus. That we could not be good enough to get to heaven on our own good works or morals. That God sent His Son, Jesus, to shed His blood on the cross and to die for our sins. Perfect sacrifice. Once and for all. And then He rose again from the dead and is alive forever. They saw that, and I quote Tullian, that the Bible is one long story of God meeting our rebellion with His rescue, our sin with His salvation, our guilt with His grace, and our badness with His goodness. God opened Mom and Dad's eyes, and they believed and were saved. Then they pointed us to Jesus. I knew this was going to be a part. And our eyes and our hearts were opened. And we received the gift of Jesus. Mom and Dad publicly declared their trusting in Jesus by being baptized together at Camp Baptist. Dad always took us to church. He honored the Sabbath day. He loved singing in the choir. He loved hymns. Mom and Dad's best friends in Ohio were Jack and Pat Wilson. They were Christians too, and Jack loved to sing. Dad loved Jack's voice. Jack preceded Dad into heaven years ago, but we will play a recording of him singing Beyond the Gates after my words. Mom called Pat a couple of days ago and told her that Jack was singing for Dad's funeral. That is so cool. Dad designed our house to have speakers in every room and flooded our home with Christian music, hymns, and Bible sermons. Even though our house wasn't a perfect home because we are sinful people, it was still a haven from the world where we could grow up as kids. Dad was such a gentleman, always refined and quick to stick out his hand for a firm handshake. My brother Lane taught him how to loosen up a tiny bit and hug his boys a little more instead of the customary handshake. Thank explain. Last Thursday morning, Dad met his Savior face to face, and I will assure you that he wasn't satisfied with the handshake. Dad was faithful and loyal. He loved Mom, or let us say adored her, always with a twinkle in his eye. And a sweet smile. Even until the end, he would say, "Hey, sweetie." Mom and Dad were married 62 years. What a legacy. The total years of marriage between Mom and Dad and their children is 174 years. They have led the way, not perfectly, none of us, but committed to love and honor till death they do part. And Mother, you persevered with God's supernatural grace and love and caring until the very end. And we love and admire you for that. And to God be the glory. I want to close by reading a letter I wrote to my children the morning Papa was finally home. Dear children, I will call each of you after sunrise, but I wanted to get this to you now. It is 3 a.m., and I just received a call from Mimi and Elisa and Laura as they sat with Papa at the Veterans Home. Dad is finally home and in the presence of Jesus. I am so grateful for Mimi and Elisa and family members who sat and prayed and sang hymns and read scripture with Dad in his final hours here on earth. We do not grieve as others grieve who have no hope, because our hope is in the Lord. The death of Dad is a parting for us now, especially for Mimi, but for a very brief period. Then we shall all be together with the Lord for eternity. These last few years have been very difficult, seeing Dad's mind shutting down. We didn't know how many days he had until God called him home. And I'm shocked how quickly this disease has taken him as of late. But I'm so thankful that he is now whole and able to sing again. And now it is in the presence of the one who he sang praises to on earth. Dad was saved by Jesus when I was a boy. Our home was full of Christian music and preaching of the word in every room. Dad was the most patient and kind and persevering man I've ever met. He loved Mom and us well. My desire is to follow in Dad's footsteps, to glorify God in my day-to-day being, and to focus our eyes on Jesus, the only way, the truth, and the life. Life is short. Death is the exclamation point to that fact. I know you kids have such great memories of Papa on their visits and vacations in Maine. We will all miss him dearly. My heart hurts. But we have hope. We have been redeemed. We are pilgrims journeying to our final home where we will see Dad again very soon. Dad loved hymns. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. I can't wait to see Dad happy again. I love you, your Dad.